Hey everybody, and welcome back to another rant video. So today we're going to be talking about this abomination Activision calls the Call of Duty HQ Launcher. Because I recently got really pissed off by it, and I need to vent. So I'm going to walk you through this fantastic experience I had the other day. Just like every other zit-riddled high school teenager that places the mic right below their nose so you can always hear them breathing when they aren't busy telling you how they railed your mom last night, I too wanted to play some Call of Duty. That was my first mistake. I don't own Black Ops 6 or Modern Warfare 3 2023, so I naively thought that I could just play the most recent CoD game that I owned, Modern Warfare 2 2022. Apparently, though, this is no longer the case because none of these games are separated anymore. They've all just become Call of Duty, and I am greeted with an 85 gigabyte update, which is all-encompassing for Modern Warfare 2 2022 and onwards. Mind you, these games used to be separated not too long ago, allowing me to choose which games I update and which ones I can wait on. But the update is instead forced because everything is being built off of Warzone 2.0, which launched with Modern Warfare 2 2022. And in turn, off of that game as well. This also leads to another problem that I don't really see people talking about in relation to paid content, which I'm going to go and loop back in later in the video to discuss that. I just want to take this time to paint the picture so you can understand my perspective here. Because clearly none of these developers or the executives ever asked themselves,
is this good for the player?
Now after that, I was already thinking about making this video and ranting about the fact that all the games are under one umbrella now on the Blizzard launcher. However, I was then met with this gem of a user experience, and I just really want to share it with you guys. So strap in, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to launching a Call of Duty game in 2024 on PC. Step 1. I have to install an 85 gigabyte update for a game I don't even own. I have to then launch from the Blizzard launcher to the Call of Duty HQ launcher, which I'm forced to restart due to the update I just installed on the Blizzard launcher. Then I have to wait for the Call of Duty HQ launcher to relaunch. Once it does, I have to wait for the shader optimization to install. Then I get to select the game and what part of it I want to launch, which then forces the Call of Duty headquarters launcher to close. Once it does, it finally launches the game. Great. But no, we're not done yet either. Then I'm forced to restart the game because of the update that I just installed. Again, it launches the game. But then I get to sit and wait for shaders again. And then, on step 12, do I finally get to play the game. Let me say that again. 12 steps to play a game.
Dad, when do we get to the ride?
This is the ride! Yippee!
Now, you could make the argument that I kind of stretched out the steps and that they could be condensed a little. Sure, but realistically, you're only going to lose 2 of those steps? And you're just nitpicking to distract from the main point of the argument. There is absolutely no reason, none whatsoever, why this Call of Duty headquarters launcher needs to exist. It is a perfect example of bloat. All it does is make the process of launching a Call of Duty game, which was already a chore on PC, even longer and more inconvenient for the user. There is no plus side to it. Like, what happens if I want to leave multiplayer and go to campaign or Warzone? I get kicked out of the game and have to wait for the Call of Duty headquarters launcher to take 10 years to reopen so that I can then select what I want to play. Wait for the launcher to close again to have it launch something that was part of the same game when it was released and did not require me to close the game to launch the game again to play that feature. So at no point do I get to just launch the game in its entirety as a combo of both traditional multiplayer and single player specific to that game. Leaving Warzone separate because it's free to play, it's its own beast unto itself. Instead, now there's this annoying as hell middleman in between every decision I make related to what I want to play in this franchise from 2022 onwards. Now, I don't own either Vanguard or Cold War, so I don't know if they suffer from this as well, but I do know that it does not affect Modern Warfare 2019 because when Call of Duty needs to update, Modern Warfare 2019 doesn't, and I can just launch it straight from the Blizzard launcher. It doesn't even need to boot up the Call of Duty headquarters launcher at all. Everything the game has to offer is conveniently accessible in the game that I launched. I don't have to close the game to play the single player. I can just go to the main menu and select it. And this brings me back to the point I wanted to discuss about paid content, aka purchase content locked behind an update wall. One of the biggest things I don't really see anybody talking about with the introduction of this Call of Duty headquarters launcher is that it essentially locks your paid content behind an update wall. Specifically talking about the single player experiences and features that wouldn't traditionally need an internet connection. And let's be honest, these updates are not small or infrequent. Since there's no way for me to access these games anymore without launching the Call of Duty headquarters launcher, I have to wait to update before I can play them. When games for years have allowed the user to refuse the update, but just not be allowed to access the online features of said game, you could still play the offline content. Now, I'm sure there's already going to be someone saying something like, who plays the campaign? It's just a campaign, who cares? Or, there are probably bug fixes for the campaign in the update, so it makes sense to force it. But that's exactly the problem. First off, there's no way in hell they're making updates to a 2-year-old campaign of Modern Warfare 2 2022. Let's be real, okay? That's not happening. Secondly, it's content that you paid for that doesn't require an internet connection that you can't access now because of the update. And these updates take quite some time to install. So, for someone who only has an hour of free time with decent internet, an 85 gigabyte update is the difference between not playing at all and compromising with some form of in-game content that isn't online only, like a campaign, Spec Ops, or zombies. But that choice has now been taken away, and it only hurts the user. And now, you're forced to update to play any form of content that the game has to offer. Now, another argument someone will more than likely make is that you had to do forced updates before the CoD HQ Launcher came out. It's no different now. But it is. Those updates were specific to that game, which made sense to have it be a forced update. But now that everything is piggybacking off of Warzone 2.0, everything has to update because Warzone has to update. And as we learned, with the new CoD HQ Launcher, it launches everything separately, even in-game content for the same game, meaning that the updates specific to Warzone could also be locked to just Warzone, allowing you to play other games and update the ones that you want. Modern Warfare 2 2022 isn't getting 85 gigabytes worth of maintenance patches. You know, I just think that this entire thing is abysmal, and it's hurting the user more than anything. I figured I'd throw in my 2 cents on this because it really just pissed me off, and this whole idea of a launcher within a launcher doesn't make sense to me. It's incredibly stupid. And the fact that these games aren't launching in their entirety anymore is really just adding insult to injury. Maybe we'll get updates inside of updates soon too. You'll have to download an update before you can download the actual update. That's going to wrap up my rant about this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.